3D audio is going to be a game changer in the world.
Generation.
I'm pretty sure Tecmo Bowl has a speed run.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's Most Elite podcast. You know, it's funny. I always say, well, we're going to have a short episode this week. And I said that last week, and we ended up talking for like 30 minutes. This week, we actually are going to have a short episode, mostly because work has started for me. And that's not to say that I don't work every day, but some days are lighter than other days. But we have started a new project at my job, and it is a large one. So it's been like all hands on deck. I'm back to my original sleep schedule. For the long-time listeners used to know that I would record these at 4 a.m. I'm back to that. So I get up at 4 a.m. every day, and I work until midday. And, so this episode I'm not actually recording at 4 a.m. This is happening in the afternoon. But, yeah, I'm back to my original work schedule. So we'll have a short episode only because I'm very tired. And there's not much going on. And it's crazy to say that with the amount of things going on in the gaming world. But there's not much going on that hasn't already been extensively covered that I feel like talking about. I feel like I do my best work when I genuinely care about the thing I'm talking about. And that's not to say I've talked about things I don't care about on this channel. I would never do that. What? Nah, most of the topics I cover on this channel are things that I care about. This week it will be no different. We're talking about some quick things. Really quick. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is finally leaving the Switch and coming to PC. I think it'll happen in June, which is great because I have it on Switch. And I never beat it, mostly because I have it on Switch. I don't play the Switch. Not a handheld guy. Whenever I play the Switch, I play it on docked mode, where I can use the Pro Controller and play on big screen, my monitor, or TV if it's in the living area. But yeah, the Switch never sold me on the handheld thing, nor did the Wii U, to be honest. I enjoy the Wii U a lot. I thought it was great, and I beat all of Shovel Knight multiple times on it. And I ended up buying that game a whole bunch of times because they kept releasing it on different consoles. You know, Switch, PC, 3DS. So many times I bought Shovel Knight. No regrets, though. Great game. Love that game. I can't wait for their next thing. Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, it's finally leaving the confines of the Switch and coming to the PC. And I'm very excited for that because that means I get to beat it because I'm going to play it when it's on the PC. Erdtree got announced, the shadow of the Erdtree, and it was all these whispers and rumors and data mines and stuff. Everybody knew it was coming. They finally released a trailer for it. Looks fun. Looks cool. Whole bunch of new big bad guys. They look exciting. They said the difficulty will be comparable to the main game. And it's $40 because they said it's going to be the most voluminous DLC they've ever done. I mean, it's probably going to be a whole bunch of content in that DLC. So if you're a Elden Ring fan, which I think all of us are, even if you're not a Souls fan, if you play Elden Ring, I think you're an Elden Ring fan. Because it's not like any other Souls game. It is the best Souls game ever made. And me and my friends, we had a great time playing it. There is a mod for it called Seamless Co-op on the PC version. What is exactly as it sounds. You don't have to like summon each other and do all this stuff. You know the Souls games multiplayer, how they do it. You're in there for like a minute to help with a boss, or you can invade and kill the guy. Well, in the mod Seamless Co-op, you're always together. You have your own horses. You can all fast travel. You can play the entire game from start to finish, and I do mean start to finish. You make your people, and you start in that cave together. You fight the tutorial boss together. You can make your you can squad up to 4 people and play the entire game. You can go anywhere on the map at any time. You are not locked to each other. So if one of you wants to investigate the opposite side of the world while the other are in the beginning worlds, you can. And yeah, I think that's the funnest way to play the game. And I mean, honestly, I think I know it was built as a single player experience, but for a game like that it's hard to beat the fantasy of Elden Ring. So if the mod creators, thank you by the way, mod creators who created that mod. Because it's basically like living in Dungeons and Dragons or like Lord of the Rings with your friends and just playing. That is super cool. But yeah, Erdtree looks fun. It's $40. So if that seems a little pricey because that is the cost of like lower games these days. Heck, you know, another game was $40. It just came out. Helldivers 2, $40. One of the biggest games in the world right now. It's so big, in fact, they have to keep updating its server so people can get on and play. They're out of space. No one can play except the 400,000 people playing. But other people want to play. They want to get on and fight for democracy. And I say that sarcastically for anyone who doesn't know. Those games, the first game included, they're basically a satire on democracy. And they are great. And if that sounds familiar to Starship Trooper fans, it's because it is familiar to Starship Trooper fans. That's the entire premise of the book. A satire on governments, particular governments. I won't get into it because the book faced a little controversy back in its time. The movie, beloved by all, and I do mean by all, that movie's great. You can watch that movie anytime. The first one. The animated movies are pretty good. 2 and 3, the live action movies, not so much. But the animated movies are pretty solid. The Starship Troopers recently had a game. I played it, but when I got it, I couldn't change its mouse options to make me turn left and right slower. I have this eye thing where I can't look left and right so quick. It makes me dizzy. And I couldn't change it, so I didn't play the game. But yeah, Helldivers 2 is fantastic, and everyone loves it, and it is getting rave reviews, and I'm very happy because I played Helldivers 1 a lot, and I played it by myself because it just wasn't popular, I guess, even though I feel like people knew about it, right? I don't know. Helldivers 2 seems to have come out of nowhere with how popular it is, and I am very happy for those developers, and I'm very happy for everybody who's enjoying it. So, yeah, that's another game that's been $40 like Erdtree will be. And I hope we get the same amount of enjoyment out of Erdtree, which I believe we will, considering it's Elden Ring. And that game is really fun. Specifically, how I said earlier, if you have a bunch of friends, please, if you have it on PC, please go get that mod, play it. Seamless co-op. Amazing. I'm not being paid to say this. It is amazing. Moving on to the next topic, as I really do want to keep this a short episode, and we're coming up on 10 minutes here. Borderlands, the movie trailer has released. I'm a bit, I don't care, right? I mean, the movie has been in varying stages of development for 9 years, right? At one point, I thought it got canceled. They announced the cast way back when, and I was like, oh, that seems interesting, I guess. And they kept the same cast, that. It's still the people they announced. So the trailer's out, and people have thoughts on the internet, like they often do. I personally don't care. It's just a movie. It's another video game movie. Will it be any good? I can't say. Does the trailer make it look any good? Looks like an action movie. Has some faces that I really like in it. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. So, that's great. I love Kate. That's great too. But, I don't know. I don't know if it'll live up to Borderlands. Borderlands 1 is pretty dated by today's standards. So, if you haven't played the games, you can sort of go into it and not care. I will say that the Terramorphous, or whatever the hell that monster, the level 50 monster you fight in that dungeon, I will say that, that's pretty bang on. From the trailer. And the psychos, all the costumes look amazing, right? All the costumes look cool. But I can't speak to how it'll be acted or directed or any of that stuff. But it had all the Borderlands stuff. Even though it's supposed to be the first game, we didn't see Brick in the trailer. We didn't see the sniper in the trailer. We saw Tina, who I'm pretty sure was introduced in 2. And Psycho, who again, Blitzkrieg, right? The Psycho. I'm pretty sure he was introduced in 2. So, I thought Mordecai is the sniper's name. We didn't see Brick or Mordecai, who were the main group in 1, along with Lilith and Roland. So I found that weird that we saw Tina and Blitzkrieg, who are Borderlands 2 characters. Maybe they're in the movie. I mean, we saw Mad Moxie. She's in the movie. So, I don't know. I mean, we didn't see Black Jack, but we heard him because he's doing the voice of Claptrap. It's just Jack Black with a Claptrap sort of Vocaloid over him. That's cool for him. He got to play Bowser. Now he's playing Black Jack. Whole bunch of... I think he's in the Minecraft movie. So, pretty cool for him doing these video game movies. It's very exciting. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not one of those pitchfork torch guys on the internet. I haven't seen the movie, so I cannot judge it. I've seen the trailer. Looks like a generic action movie. Will it be more than that? Who knows? The real question is, does it have to be? Does it have to be more than a generic action movie? Case in point, look at The Beekeeper. It's a Jason Statham-led vehicle. Generic action movie, hands down. Through and through, it is a generic action movie. It made like 120 million or something. Some crazy number, right? So does the Borderlands movie have to be more than that? I don't know. I don't think so either. I think it can just have good action and good story. Not even so good story. Just good action, because I think the people who are going to go see it, obviously a lot of fans are going to go see it. But the majority of the people who are going to go see that movie are just people going out on a date night and they want to see an action movie. If they've never seen or played or heard of the Borderlands games, maybe this film's for them. I have no idea. Again, I haven't seen it. So I'm very excited for it to exist, because it, you know, anything that stays in development hell that long usually gets canceled. So I'm happy they got it made. I will say that. And lastly, moving on to the final topic of the video, Bungie. Going to be short and sweet. A while back, he will be the current interim CEO, basically, or leader of Sony Entertainment America, because Jim Ryan is stepping down after 30 years of running the side of Sony. He's leaving, so he's being replaced with Hiroki Totoki. He's going to be the interim. I don't know if he's going to stay in that role, or if they're going to, you know, he's just hanging out until they bring someone else in that they want to appoint. But yeah, as everybody knows, way back, I did a video on it on this channel. Sony purchased Bungie for $7 billion. Big number, big number. They purchased them because they wanted to hire them for their live service expertise, having created and sustained this very successful Destiny series. As I mentioned in the previous video, that's the current situation at Destiny, is it's circling the drain. And I know that sounds like, oh, people play every day. They do. Doesn't matter. The entire purpose of the game is to make money, and it's not been making money. 2 years later, after buying them, we got a report here over on PC Gamer. It says that December 2023 report said Destiny 2 player numbers have declined dramatically. By the way, they have. Just go check on Steam charts. I think it was like 20,000 people playing the other day, and you're like, that's a good number. Not for a game like Destiny 2, which averages 100,000 or so, 80,000, 75,000. And the revenues are down 45% below projections. And morale, and we talked about this last time, morale at the studio has been down since the layoffs. They laid a whole bunch of people off and threatened to lay off more people, telling them to get over it and stuff like that. There was a whole bunch of, you know, people laid off coming out, you know, quietly. Their names and stuff not out there because they don't want to, you know, contracts and things like that. So Bungie was reportedly facing the possibility of a full takeover by Sony. And today, you know, Hiroki Totoki, not today, during that call they had together, he said he visited Bungie and he had a meeting with the management, and he saw the employees working at the studios were highly motivated, showing that they had creativity and impressive knowledge of live services. Now, that him saying that is important because that is the entire reason Sony bought them. As I mentioned in my last video about the Suicide Squad, every company, even Sony with even Sony, right? They all want a part of the live service market. A market which I think is dead and dying and should be laid to rest. But companies don't see it that way. What they see is easy, quick money. And more importantly, sustainable money. The entire reason for a company to exist is to make money. And not just make enough money to keep existing, but make more money each financial quarter. If you even lose $1,000 a quarter, like if you made $1,000 in the first quarter and you made $999 in the next, you're doing something wrong in the company's eyes. So, unfortunately, that's just how the system works. So they need to make money, and that they all want that live service money. So obviously Sony, much like Warner Brothers, much like Square Enix, thought the way to go forward was live service. So they all made these big investments in these companies, and things are not working out. Sony being Sony, look, they can take the hit, right? They'll fire everybody at Bungie probably, and retool them and fill them with Sony people, and try to get them on track. I don't know, they'll fire everybody not on the live service side of things. I'll say that. Anyway, he visited them, and he said they had impressive knowledge of live services. He went on to say, however, I also felt that there was room for improvement from a business perspective with regard to areas such as the use of business expenses and assuming accountability for development timelines. I hope to continue the dialogue and come up with some good solutions. All right, and that's the scary part of his visit. One, he mentioned what I just said. There's room for improvement from a business perspective. You know what that means? We're not making enough money. How do we make more money in this office? That's what he was saying. How does this office make more money? I want more money. How do we get it? And then he says, in regards to use of business expenses, I want to assume, and this is an assumption, I do not have insider knowledge. When Sony bought Bungie, they promised them that they would remain an independent subsidiary. To this day, they have. They have remained that. They are not under Sony's control in the sense of Sony's not running their office. They are. Sony left them completely independent to do whatever it is that they were doing, on the condition that they continue to make money. As we know, Bungie has delayed the final shape from this month, February, to June. That's over a quarter and a half of missing money that should have been. So now we got to adjust our sales projections. That's not a good look, because we get look, $7 billion. Where'd it go? They purchased Bungie for that money. Where did they use that money? What did they do with it? Because if he's saying there's room for improvement, and we got to use business expenses better, it sounds like he's saying, hey, we didn't make any money, and on top of that, you guys are wasting money. That's what it sounds like he's saying. Now, I'm no analyst. I'm no business guy. But that sounds like business guy speak for where's the money going and why is it not coming in. That's what it sounds like. The last thing he says is assuming accountability for development timelines. And that one really hits home, because any Destiny fan knows that Destiny always releases a DLC and people plow through it in less than a month. And then there is a content drought until the next DLC. Now what he's saying is no one's taking accountability for that. Development timelines. Now that could be past developments or future developments where they probably had a meeting or meetings saying, hey, look, by this date, we got to have this out. And it's possible that Bungie did not reach those goals, and no one wants to say that's on me. So now we have the new boss coming in and saying, hey, somebody needs to say that's on me or it's going to be on everybody. He's not saying those words, but it certainly feels like he's saying those words. And if I'm leadership at Bungie, I'm getting nervous. We have basically he's going to be the interim CEO of Sony coming to the office and telling us where's the money, what the hell is going on, and no one's saying, you know what, boss? Yeah, I messed up. I flubbed it up. No one's doing it. No one wants to step up and be that person, but they all want to reap the benefits of being under Sony's umbrella and spending that $7 billion. I mean, somebody's got to say they did it. You'll be all right. $7 billion, you'll be cool. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. He stepped in as chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment in October last year. So I know he's going to be the CEO in April when Jim Ryan leaves. So we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. I believe Bungie's leadership needs a change. Now, I'm not advocating for people to be fired or lose their well-being, but clearly, at least from Destiny 2's, like, if you don't take my word for it, go to any Destiny 2 content creator who hasn't licked the boot. Unfortunately, there are a few. Go to any of them and like watch the videos. They are way more disappointed in Bungie than I am, and they've been expressing these concerns for some time. I personally think the leadership needs to change only for Bungie to stay, one, independent company, and two, for Destiny to evolve into the game that all the fans, I used to be a fan, myself included, believe it still can be. It's been out for like 10 plus years, and yet it still hasn't become the game that I think every fan knows is hidden deep down in there. And that's crazy to say because Avengers got less than a year or a year, and it never got to become it, and it got axed. Back for Blood got less than a year. Most recently, Suicide Squad. And I know that's doomer speak, but hey, look, I think like 500 people are playing on Steam. No lie. I wish I was making that number up. I know more people playing on console, but it can't be that much more. So, Outriders got like 6 months. Blood Hunt games like it got like 6 months, 6 weeks even, it felt like. So the fact that Bungie and Destiny has survived for 10 plus is a milestone, and it's one that companies are still seeking to emulate. So I would like that to stick around just for the fans' sake, but I don't think it's possible with the current management, because the current management is the reason they're in this current situation. So I do think their management needs to change. But that's all I really wanted to talk about this week. And unfortunately, the video, yet again, is over 10 minutes long. I wanted to keep it 10 minutes, but I got so passionate about talking about failure. You guys know in this video is my favorite topic, failure. And yeah, leave your thoughts and comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you care to. We're not pressuring you to do that on this channel. And we will see you in the next one.